So it's been about a week now since the Shattered Veil map came out, and it's left an impression on the zombies community that I don't totally agree with. I've played the map, I've completed the Easter egg, and now when I look at the map, I find myself quite conflicted. I want to have a brief talk about this map and what I like and what I don't like. This video is going to be a lot more off the cuff than a normal video for me. I'm not going to script this nearly as heavily. Kind of just want to see how that goes, and if I want to try doing more videos like this in the future. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down the map into different sections of things that I want when it comes to a Black Ops 6 Zombies map. I'm going to cover how well Shattered Veil hits on these points, or how well it doesn't hit on these points. I'll grade each section out of 10, and then I'll do an average at the end for all of the scores to get a final grade. Before we hit any of those sections though, I have something to say about this game that's not specific to Shattered Veil. Treyarch, please fix the crashing in this game. It's so frustrating. I had no problems at all in this game until the Tomb came out, and since then, crashes. Pretty much at least once a game, if not worse than that. It's incredibly frustrating when this is the Startoon Easter egg run. Training course or something, just after getting the powers off of Skinny Ripped.
Fuck.
As I'm calling him right now, because I can't remember his name.
Yeah, no, that shit takes forever. My hero to.
My game already crashed!
No.
Son of a bitch!
I think
And
you're close too, so we
Can
can't
Call of
even
Duty
pause
make a
it.
game on PC?
Ah! Now I gotta get
Here
my
we
fucking
join.
shit back again. Please, just fix it. I don't have anything else to say on this matter. It's not a Shattered Veil problem, just a general zombies and Call of Duty problem, as always. Whatever. So I'm going to start with the first section being very broad, and that's the atmosphere of the map. This has been a topic consistently through Black Ops 6, in both, things that have done it well and things that have not done it well. I want a map to feel like a zombies map. I think they did really good when it came to Terminus and Citadel. Obviously Liberty Falls not so much, but it's not really a main map, so I'm not as bothered by that. So with Terminus, it was really well done. You're on this distant island, it's kind of mysterious, you've got the tentacle monster chasing you, you've got amalgams which were new at the time, and it's got this feeling of being a large, eerie place to be on. It's really well done. Now, here in the Shattered Veil, it's basically a story of two halves. They're vastly different two halves as well. The inside of the mansion, it's great, including the underground Pack-a-Punch area. These areas of the map are great, they feel like they belong to zombies and zombies alone. The outside areas of the map are much more basic and lack the feeling that the rest of the map brings. It doesn't scream or even speak zombies in my eyes. The easiest one for a comparison is like Dead of the Night, which is also a mansion map. In that map, everywhere outside of the mansion is stylized in different ways that clearly speak to the setting of the map and the lore being built within that map. The Shattered Veil is missing that key component. One bonus that this map does incredibly well is having the Easter egg lead to bonus areas of the map that wouldn't be normally found. The chamber where you bounce light around and all of the rooms that are behind paintings are great. They are perfect additions that do awesome things for this map. I think overall for the atmosphere, this map is a 6 out of 10. It's still struggling with that whole Warzone-ification thing that I hate talking about, but it's still a problem to the general essence of Black Ops 6 Zombies, and this map is not doing a perfect job at overcoming it, but it is getting back on the right path. Without the extra areas, I'd say it'd probably be like a 4. Our next talking point are the special zombies. Treyarch brought in a new zombie with the toxic zombie that shows up in the dog round slot. Still within this map are vermin and parasites, but they aren't the feature enemy. These toxic zombies are a new threat that is fun to play against. They're essentially a spin-off of poison catalysts from Black Ops 4, but these are, in my eyes, different enough to warrant their existence. The toxic zombies, they come at you and they attempt to explode, dealing major damage and leaving a toxic cloud. The player needs to be mindful of them and keep them away. They are dangerous, and having a real threat in the game is fun, especially because it's not persistently coming at you. You know when they're coming, you have a chance to defend yourself. A downside to this is that they didn't get a special announcer introduction. It's still just tear them to pieces. Really, I mean, like, a vermin, that makes sense because they're a little bug thing, but the toxic zombie, I feel like they could have got a different introduction. Anyway, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's really well done. I'm happy with it. Honestly, if they just changed the announcer, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But it's another part of missing the overall atmosphere. They didn't take the time to make one new line. One new line could have done it. They were so close. Next up is a section that has been a pretty hot topic through the life of Black Ops 6, and that's the mini-boss zombie types. In this map, everybody, time to applaud. They took away the boss spam. Okay, it is good news. I'm happy that that shit is gone, at least from this map. We don't have to deal with a billion amalgams and a billion manglers all the time. It's incredibly frustrating. So, what did we get instead? We ended up with an Elder Disciple. So, we're recycling a zombie again. However, this one is different. It's not just a Disciple. At the time of the Disciples originally coming around in Cold War, there was no evolving zombies types. So, they just buffed the enemies around them. They just helped out the other zombies. In this game, because we have now the evolution of zombie types if you leave them be, the Elder Disciple plays off of that and forces those types to come around faster. So it can take a vermin and push it up to being an amalgam if you ignore the Disciple long enough. That's a cool mechanic, and for the most part, I haven't even experienced any of the other boss zombies because the Elder Disciples are easy enough to take out before they do that, which rewards you for paying attention and being on top of things, and at the same time, does allow you to, if you really wanted to, let it spawn in something that's more challenging for you to deal with, but you don't have to do that. Just kill the Elder Disciple, and you're good to go. With it being a reskin, it's going to knock it down a peg, but they did change it, so it's not going to be a complete negative point. I'm going to give the mini-boss zombies a 7 out of 10, which is incredibly raised up because of the removal of boss spam. If there was still boss spam with Disciples or the other boss types, the grade would be significantly lower. So, our next talking point is the wonder weapons, and I don't really have anything good to say here. I love the Ray Gun Mark II, I really do. I also like the Wonder Waff, but maybe we could just make a new wonder weapon, please, for the love of God. I'm okay with you bringing back old wonder weapons, but also pair it with something that's brand new to a map. I don't want the wonder weapon of the map to be something that came out in Black Ops 2, or World at War for that matter. I want the wonder weapon of the map to be something entirely different. And even if you're going to tell me that the ray gun variants are completely new, they aren't, because we've already done this exact same type of thing in Alpha Omega, so even adding the variants doesn't add anything new to the Ray Gun Mark II, and there's no variants to the Wonder Waff, which could have potentially been new, so we just missed the mark here. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. They're good wonder weapons, they're enjoyable to use, they're fun, they're powerful, but they aren't new. They don't bring me any new reason to come play Shattered Veil. I'm glad that the next section is going to be a much more positive look. I get to talk about the Easter egg now, and I really only have one complaint about the Easter egg itself, which we'll cover in a moment. For now, the things I do like is something I mentioned before. This Easter egg involves other parts of the map that aren't normally part of your playthrough. That is awesome. I love that. Do more of that, please, Treyarch. That is awesome. Give it a feel that what you're doing is different than just playing the map in a boring fashion. These steps are unique, they're fun, you're going through paintings, you're killing these bosses, and those parts of the map are cool, as well as the aligning the mirrors. That part is neat as well, spawning in different doppelgasts for yourself. I like these parts of the Easter egg. What I don't like is that a large majority of the Easter egg is only getting the wonder weapon variants. This has happened before in many maps that I love, but I'm getting kind of tired of this being the setup for maps. It's just become a trend now. It's get the wonder weapon, upgrade it, boss fight. And the tomb was the worst example of it. You basically did nothing outside of getting the ice staff and upgrading it. So now here, at least there's some more to do after the wonder weapon acquisition and upgrades, but there's not a ton there, and what you're doing is just repeating yourself. You're going through a wall, killing a boss, then you're going through a different wall, killing a boss, then you're going through a wall, killing a boss, all while having to do it with different versions of that wonder weapon. So that the wonder weapon part is really why I don't love this Easter egg, but I will say it is on the right track again. Terminus was super simple, and that was one of my biggest complaints about the Easter egg itself, is that it wasn't a complicated Easter egg quest in any way, but the boss fight was really cool. Citadel started to go the right direction. We got those runes that were kind of more mysterious and part of that chaos storyline feel, but it was still pretty simple and much more focused on the wonder weapons. Then the tomb came out, and dear God, I hated everything about that map. And now Shattered Vale, we're getting closer. We're getting a little more complicated each time, back to the Easter eggs that I truly love from Black Ops 3 and 4. So I hope they keep on this trend. If they do, that's very good for future maps. If not, I just hope there isn't another tomb situation. For now, I give it an 8 out of 10 for the Easter egg. I'm really happy with what they're doing with it. I want them to keep going in this direction, so I'm going to give props and hope that me spitting this out into the ether means that maybe somebody hears it and can do something to keep this trend going. Now on to a section that's directly tied to the Easter egg and is another big part of what I love in a map, is the boss fight. And listen, I am absolutely a slut when it comes to dinosaurs. I'm all about it. I love it. They put in a T-Rex. It's the Z-Rex. That's pretty fucking sick. I'm all about it. But it is still a boring boss fight. Unfortunately, it's just not that engaging. You're in this arena, which, cool, awesome, love it, dedicated arena for the boss fight. And you're just running through the space. There's zombies, there's some toxic zombies, and there's the Z-Rex who is spitting some goo and chomping and you know, swinging his tail a little bit. He's not even really that threatening, ultimately, and there are no real mechanics to the fight. I'm going to compare it to Terminus, because it's from the same game, but Terminus has different things that the boss does during the fight. As you advance through the phases of the fight, you need to pay attention to what the boss is doing, because he is doing a wipe mechanic, or he's doing his tongue sweeping where you can't walk through an area, or he's doing a vulnerability phase that you got to be paying attention to. All of these things make the fight more complicated and intense and really fun. Then you get to Shattered Vale with the Z-Rex, and he's just there, and you just shoot him, and after a while, eventually he runs out of health, and now the fight's over. It's not my favorite, but it is much better than not having a boss fight. It is infinitely better than whatever the fuck the tomb was doing, and so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, but it would be so much better if there were actually phases and different things and mechanics happening within the fight. So, still good, could be better. The final main section is going to be story and story implications. I gotta say that starting with Terminus, I was locked the fuck in on this story. You tell me there's a Sentinel artifact and that chaos is actually being linked in, I'm all about it. Then you bring me to Citadel, and you lose me a little bit, sort of. It's still kind of interesting with the reveal of Richtofon's dad and all that stuff going on. But then the tomb happens, and you entirely lose me. I don't even understand what in the world that map was supposed to be. I could rant about it forever. I thought about doing that video after the map released. I decided against it. So I'm not going to do it here, but I want to. I want to so badly rant about that stupid map. Anyway, story. It didn't bring anything to the story. We went there, said nothing, took the stupid Sentinel artifact, and then we peaced out, yo. And now we ended up here in the Shattered Vale, where I wasn't really expecting much when it came to story, and thankfully I got some stuff that I wasn't expecting. So Sam, the robot, got what she wanted out of us because we gifted her the Sentinel artifact. This ended up causing our crew to run into Richtofen, who is pissed at us for what we did, and we're pissed at him for what he did, and he only did what he did because of what we did, and now we have to work together because the Z-Rex is going to eat our buttholes if we don't, and then we do work together, and now we have to continue to work together because Sam is trying to take over Samantha Maxis's body and rule the whole dark ether, which would not be a good thing. So now we're going to go to the 4th map and do something about it. I'm at least happy that Richtofen's back. The story is going somewhere again, which is nice. I'm really curious to see where it goes from here. But I'm kind of questioning why Chaos was even brought into this, because for the most part, it's had very little to do with what's actually happening in the story. The Sentinel artifact is there, and it's being used by Sam, but it feels like they could have just had any other object or mythological item be what Samantha needed for her ultimate goal. It didn't have to be the Sentinel artifact, so I'm waiting for them to justify those Chaos tie-ins before I get really excited about the story again. So hopefully it gets better. Right now, 5 out of 10, and now we're going to go see what the whole map looks like when we average this out. Our average score ultimately came out to a 6.42 out of 10. It's above average, it's a good map, and in many ways, it is exactly what I'd been asking for. A more complicated Easter egg, some special parts of a map that make it feel like it belongs in Zombies, and not as much boss spam. You know, these things, I got what I wanted, but unfortunately it lacked in other areas, specifically Wonder Weapons being the big one, and then the story is just, feels like it's floundering for me right now. I want it to get back to being super interesting, and if it does, I'm completely back in. This map has really made me realize how jaded I am, and a big source of that is from The Tomb, which just really shit on the legacy of Black Ops 6, which up until that point was actually doing pretty well in my eyes. I was happy with it, I enjoyed it, I liked doing the Easter eggs, and then yeah, The Tomb came along and it just reminded me of why I have such a hard time really believing that Zombies is going to get truly better again and be enjoyable as much as I had once enjoyed it. So we're here now. We are at the Shattered Veil, waiting for the next map, and I really hope that it's good. I hope the next map is good, and maybe there'll be another 2 or 3 maps in this game. I'm not totally sure on 3. 2 feels like it's probably going to happen. A 3rd map would be pretty surprising. Regardless, keep doing the good things right. Keep making the Easter eggs interesting. Keep improving the story. Get characters in that we care about, if at all possible. And make sure you don't do boss spam. Just do the Shattered Veil, but keep doing it better. Do the Terminus boss fight style with phases and waves and things to think about beyond just their boss, shoot boss. There's a lot that can be done to improve it, but the foundation is growing again, and it's making me excited, so please help me out and give a good map to myself and the community that desperately needs consistent good maps, not just 1 or 2 and then dog shit, and then 1 or 2 that are good, and then dog shit. That's not a fun cycle to be in. All that out of the way, I do like the Shattered Veil. It's just not my favorite map, and definitely not my favorite in Black Ops 6. It's good, so hopefully they keep improving. Thank you all for watching. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments down below. I know this map is pretty widely loved, so I'm sure there'll be some disagreement here, but it is just my opinion. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell. Until next time.